What's up, everybody? We are here live. You might not be able to see that, but it says it is Wednesday, week 3, day 15. It is our workout Wednesday. It's 11 a.m. Thank you for joining us live in our Zoom class, and then also live as well on Facebook. I'll be creating a YouTube video for this for the archive classes. And remember, if you missed today, you have 14 days that you can watch in the archive videos. So we have the warm-up. We'll perform some upper and lower controlled articular rotations or CARs. Go through that quickly, and then we'll go through some activation drills. We're going to be using primarily some Michael Boyle strength training today and going through a good overview of what he might have some of his athletes do. So we're going to be doing more of an athletic workout, what some athletes might do. But this is going to be adapted for everybody, okay? So we're going to warm up with the CARs, and then we'll do some activation drills. And those are going to get our body ready for some dynamic stretching. And then we'll really get into our workout when we get to this phase. So we're going to focus on some activation drills, some dynamic stretching, then we'll get into our workout, and then we'll have a cool down. We'll go through our activation drills and our dynamic stretches a little bit faster. We won't spend too much time on them because we'll want to really get into our workout, but we're going to use these drills to get our body ready for our workout. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so whether you're seated, standing, I'll give you 3 options, and this will be the seated version. You'll have your kneeling version, and then you'll have your standing version. And we're going to be doing the same thing for all 3. And I'll probably use the kneeling version. All right, so from here I'm going to squeeze my fist. I'm going to assess, or I'm going to check on each major body joint, and then I'm going to make sure that I'm keeping my body tight to begin with, and I'm squeezing all my core muscles, my arms, my legs. And then what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to rotate my neck in a circle. I'm going to go ahead and drop the head down, rotate, look over the shoulder, look all the way up, look over the other shoulder, and look all the way down. One more circle, nice and slow. Rotate, bend, extend back, rotate toward the other side, and complete your circle. Drawing a circle with the chin, go ahead and rotate the other way. Try not to move your shoulders, try not to move your hips, and all the way around. One more circle. Rotate, look over the shoulder, look all the way up, all the way around and down. Now really noticing if there's any pain or issues. If there is pain or issues, you feel like you might have to not participate because of an issue, that's something that we want to assess first. So that's why we're going over little things, and then if anything doesn't feel right, then you can make the best judgment for your exercises. The next one we'll perform is the thoracic car. We'll give ourselves a hug. So whether we're seated, standing, or collapsed and kneeling like this, what we're going to do is we're going to flex just the upper back down, and then we're going to rotate the upper back over the stomach, and then we're going to bend into that side, and then we're going to extend back, rotate toward the other side, bend into that side, and flex all the way down. Keep rotating, keep rotating, keep rotating. Bend into the side, extend, rotate toward the other side, bend into that side, and flex down. Go ahead and rotate toward the other side, bend, extend back, rotate, bend into the other side, flex down. One more rotation, shoulder dips down, extend up, rotate, dip the shoulder down, and all the way down. Good. Okay, for the shoulder, if you're seated, what you can do is we're just going to go with a swimmer car. So what we're going to do is bring your hands behind the head and hold, whether you're seated, standing, or kneeling here. Okay, from here what we're going to do is tee out the arms, and then we're going to internally rotate the shoulders so the arms move as a unit. So we're going to turn those palms back, hold here, and now we're going to turn the other way. The whole arm as a unit here, axial rotations. So this would be considered an axial rotation of the glenohumeral or the shoulder. And try going the other way, go all the way to external rotation here. Bring those thumbs back, almost down, hold. And then bring those hands behind the head. And then extend the elbows. We're going to internally rotate so the palms are facing back. And then we're going to extend the shoulders. Try not to let the head go forward. Reach all the way back, hold here. And then we're going to bend the elbows and try to get the hands all the way up the back. And then relax. From here, draw the shoulders back. Extend the elbows away. Unwind the shoulders, so externally rotate the shoulders. Go back to that T, hands behind the head. Good. Okay. Now for the lower body, if you're seated, we will perform some bent knee axial rotations, starting with your left or your right leg, whatever you prefer. If you're unable to move your hip yourself like this, if you or someone else can help you move the hip just nice and gently, we're not pushing past a tension. So once it reaches a tension, we don't need to push past that. So once it reaches a tension, stay here, and then find a tension and hold. If you're able to go down to the mat, we'll go to the hands and knees, and we'll focus on one leg at a time. So if you're seated, work on one leg while we're doing this here. And if you're on the hands and knees, what we're going to do is keep the back as straight or as still as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and put something on my back. So if you have like a phone or an object like a controller, I'm going to put this controller on my back. Might as well see where we're at here with time. So I'm going to put this controller on my back. So find something that you can put on your back. And while we're doing this hip car, we're going to see if we can control ourselves so we're not using our back and only using our hip. So we're going to go ahead and bring that knee forward and off the ground, flexing the hip, bending the knee. And then from here, we're going to open up the hip. And then we're going to draw a circle with the knee all the way back. And then the knee will touch the knee to the other side. If it fell off, try to put it back on or just leave it on the ground. From here, go ahead and kick that leg up toward the sky. Open up the hip all the way around, forward and down. Try one more. Open the hip up. Big circle around with the hip. Knee next to knee. And then extend the hip. Keep the knee bent. Open up the hip. Drive that knee all the way around, forward and down. All right. If the controller or whatever you're using keeps falling off, don't worry about it. You can also use a yoga block as well. Let's go ahead and try the other side. So if you're seated, axially rotate that hip. If you're in the hands and knees, let's get the other side. Flex that knee toward the elbow. Keep that knee bent. Open up the hip. Draw a big circle with the knee all the way back and around. Knee touches knee. And then from here, kick that leg up toward the sky. Open up the hip back toward the elbow, forward, and then out and around. Open up the hip. Draw a circle with the knee. Knee touches the other knee. And then kick that knee up toward the sky. Open up the hip. Draw a big circle forward, all the way down, and done with the hip. The hip takes a little bit longer. It's like the shoulder. When you're working on the shoulder, the hip, those ball and socket joints, they have so much range of motion that it's really hard to control that range of motion. So you have to take your time. So for the knee, it's a hinge joint. It's a little bit more basic than a shoulder, but it does do a lot of the same things. It rotates, bends, and extends. So what we're going to do, if you're seated, if you're able to extend and bend your knee while rotating your lower limb or the tibia, you're just going to perform that while you're seated. If somebody can help you do that for you, I would love to see that happen, okay? If you're able to sit on the ground, we're going to wrap that arm underneath the belly of the hamstring and drive that knee up into the chest and squeeze the hands together. And then we're going to keep the heel on the ground and point the toe up toward the sky. And we're just going to watch that foot pivot in and out. So as that foot pivots in and out, see if the whole lower limb travels with the foot or if it's just the foot moving. We want to get that whole lower leg to travel together. So from here, let's go ahead and travel it out, up, and then we'll go in and then down, out, up, in, and down. Keep it in, up, out, and down, in, up, out, and down. From here, let's go ahead and bring the hands around the shin, point the toe, and we're just going to draw a circle with the ankle. If you're able to draw a circle yourself, just trying to draw a circle, pretend there's paint on the tips of your toes. 2 circles one way, and now let's go ahead and go 2 circles the other way. No rush, all the way around. We're just checking those joints. And from here, let's go ahead and switch sides. Let's go to the opposite knee. Extend. Let's go in and down. Out, up, in, down, out, up, in, down. Now we're just going to go up, out, down, in, up, out, and down. Now ankles here, full circle. Draw a big circle with the ankle. All the way around, rotate 2 big circles. All the way one way, and then 2 circles the other way. If you're just joining us, we will need 2 dumbbells and a medicine ball or soup cans and a backpack with some books. So drawing circles here and complete it. We are done with our upper and lower cars. Let's go ahead and cross that off. Now we're going to get into our activation drills. So again, we're using some functional training for sports methods by Michael Boyle, but we're going to adapt these for all learners. So we're going to start with on our back on the mat. If you're seated, I'm also going to give you some seated exercises you can do. If you're able to perform a hip lift in your, if you're seated, what I'd like you to do is just try to bring one leg off the ground and see if you can bring the hips off the ground just like that. If you're not able to do that, I'd like you to hold a kick or hold a stretch just like this for the first exercise. And then you can use your scissor arms or shoulder flexion during these exercises if you're unable to use your legs. Okay, so those would be some exercises you can perform if you're unable to use your legs. So if you are able to get on the ground, we're going to start with the hip lift or iso kick hold. So go ahead and grab a sip of water if you need it, and we're going to go ahead and get started with our activation drills. So we're going to start on our back. We're going to perform a one-legged hip lift, but we're going to start in what is commonly known as a bridge position, really just laying on your back with your knees bent. And then from here, driving those hips up, pressing those feet into the ground, and then bringing those hips down. Then from here, I want you to point those toes up toward the sky. I want you to see if you can lift one leg toward the chest, and I want you to see if you can drive that heel into the ground and bring those hips up. And we're going to go for 5 reps. 2, all the way down. 3, all the way down. 4, all the way down. And 5, all the way down. Go ahead and switch side. Drive that knee up. And up. 1, all the way up. 2, all the way up. 3, all the way up. 4, and down. All the way up, and 5. Good. The next one is going to be a leg lift. If you're seated, you're just going to go for a leg kick. You can go one leg kick at a time, or you're going to perform scissor arms if you're seated just like this during the entire time. If you're on the ground, or if you're seated, you're just going to bring one arm overhead and one arm down, just like this. And then we're going to switch. Okay? So whether you're seated or standing, you can reach for the leg or just do single arm reach overhead and then out in front of the waist. Trying to keep those legs off the ground and keep those arms off the ground. If you want to challenge yourself by crunching up and reaching and bringing the arm overhead, we're going to go for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, go ahead and relax. From here, we're going to go ahead and go to our shoulder press on a block on our back or while we're seated. So whether you're seated or on your back, we're going to press overhead. So if you're seated, it'll just look like this. You're just going to press overhead, palms face forward, and really trying to draw those elbows in, down, and back, and then going all the way up if you're seated. If you're on your back, it's going to look just like this. You're going to reach all the way overhead. Make sure you have some space. So reaching overhead, all the way down, all the way up. Trying to keep the wrists flat. Trying not to flex the wrists. All the way down. We're going to go for about 7 more. 1, 2, keep going all the way up, all the way down. Don't worry about how many you're getting. Just try to go nice and controlled. All the way up, all the way down. Really reach all the way up and then reach all the way down, but keep those elbows bent and relax. From here, what we're going to do is go into our 90-90. If you're seated, you can perform 90-90 with the elbows, just like this. If you're on the ground, we're going to see if you can get into the 90-90 hip stretch here. From here, both knees are at 90 degrees. If you have lines that help by putting that lower limb here on a front line, that should be parallel with your back femur here. And then from here, this line should also be parallel with the back leg. And so what we're going to do is sit up nice and tall, lean forward over that hip. If you're seated and you're working with just the arms, you can go just like this with your shoulders. If you want to do both, you can. It'll be a little bit harder. Or you can just breathe and hold. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. If you're seated and you're able to kind of move your legs in this position and hold, that is also another suggestion. All right, so wherever you are, we're going to go ahead and switch to the other side. Try to get into 90-90 in the other side. Going to lean forward, bring the chest up. Breathe, inhaling and exhaling. Again, if you're seated, we're using just the arms, 90-90 with the arms, and holding and breathing. And if you'd like to, while you're seated, try to position your knees into a seated 90-90 version. Go ahead and inhale and exhale. Try to bring the chest up. Breathe. Inhale one more time. And big exhale. Focus on your breathing now. Start to think about inhaling through your nose and really exhaling everything out, trying to get it all out. From here, what we're going to do is Spider-Man's or torso twist. So we're going to perform a Spider-Man or a torso twist. So if you're seated, you can have the option of reaching up like this and going back and forth, or you can do a seated reach or a wiper. Okay, so you have different options if you're seated. If you're on the ground, you're going to go into a Spider-Man. Okay, or if you're seated, go into a reaching Spider-Man if you're seated as well. Here we're going to hold. We're going to go ahead and reach toward the ground, and then we're going to open up. Reach toward the ground, almost bringing the elbow down, and then go all the way up. We're going to go for 5 reps. 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead and switch side. Reaching all the way down, trying to bring the elbow toward the ground, and then reaching all the way up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good job. All right, so the next one, we will perform a seated torso reach like this. So if you're seated, you're just going to reach all the way up. Option 1, option 2, and option 3. Or if you're standing, we're going to find a pyramid, and we're going to bring one arm down, one arm up, and hold. And go ahead and switch. Breathe and switch. And switch. Whether you're seated or standing, switch. Let's get 2 more each side. Ready? Switch. 1. Switch. 2. Switch. 3. One more. Switch. And 4. All right. Next one, we're going to perform an Adductor Rock. If you're seated, you're going to try to bring one leg out, and we're going to move forward and back just like this. Okay? If you want, you can also bring the feet a little bit closer together, and we can just rock forward just like this. Okay? If you are on the ground and you're able to bring one knee down and open up one leg, we're just going to go forward and back. Okay? Just forward and back, just bringing one leg out in a half kneeling position, and just rocking forward and back. Let's go 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead and switch side, whether you're seated or on the ground, just rocking forward and back. Now we're activating our knees, our ankles, our hips, our adductors here. Let's get 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Let's get 1 more. 4. All right, so the next one we're going to do is if you're seated, you can do a hip flexion hug like this and hold and press down just like this. If you're seated, it'll look like that. Or you can do a shoulder flexion iso, where you're going to hold shoulder flexion if you're seated. If you're able to go on your back here, what we're going to do is go into hip flexion iso or shoulder flexion iso. So if you're on your back, we're going to go into hip flexion. We're going to put our hands on top of each other, press this opposite knee down. We're going to press the hands into the knee and knee into the hands. We're going to create a little bit of tension here. We're going to go ahead and build that tension up. Hold it for 10, 9. Go ahead and build it up to 10%, 20%, 30%, 40, 50, 60, and hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and go ahead and switch. Bring the knee up, push the knee into the hands, hands into the knees. We're going to build that intensity up for about 10 seconds, starting at about 10% effort, 20%, 30, 40, 50, and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Good job. All right, we are done with our activation drills. So those activation drills really are a central nervous system stimulator to get those muscles, bigger muscles, smaller muscles, everything kind of, all that meat, we call it, all that stuff. Get all that stuff activated to perform movement. So really focusing on the joint health and making sure that we have the prerequisites for movement before we get into our workout. So before you get into any workout, if you're not focusing on proper warm-ups, you're more likely to get injured. And so that's what we're trying to prepare you for, is the mitigation of injury and appropriate workouts. So we have dynamic stretching is next. These will all be standing, more warm-up exercises like you would see locomotor skills. So if you don't have a lot of space, don't worry. You don't need a lot of space. You can do a lot of this stuff in a small amount of space. But if you do have space and you can move around a little bit more, I recommend moving some stuff around. So go ahead and get a sip of water. We're going to go ahead and start our dynamic stretching. Dynamic stretches are movements to prepare us for our workouts, and you can also perform dynamic stretches before games like soccer and football. You'll see football players perform squats, lunges. You'll see them do some wide-legged steps. You'll also see them do some heel kick and swipes. You'll see them do some single leg reaches. So those are all dynamic stretches that you can perform to get your body kind of ready for physical activity. And they build the proprioceptive mechanoreceptors, or a small term I could say is they build the stuff that allows you to do more work. Okay, so all this stuff matters, and it all kind of works together as you kind of prepare yourself. So we're going to go ahead and start with a single leg or arm reach. So the single leg or arm reach. So what we're going to do if you're seated is you are going to reach forward like you're performing a hip hinge or a good morning and reaching forward. If you're able to stand, we're going to stand on one leg, and then the opposite arm is going to reach forward, and the opposite leg is going to go back. Okay, this opposite arm here, I'm going to keep it nice and tight, squeeze it, and then stand back up. Okay, I'm going to go for 5 on each side. Okay, so try to balance. You can always make it easier by going on 2 feet, a little bit harder, split stance, and then even harder with the leg off the ground. Let's try to get 3 more. Reach. 1, 2, and 3. Let's go ahead and switch side. Remember, opposite arm reaches forward. If you want to take it easy and do 2 feet or split stance, you can do that as well. Or you can challenge yourself by doing it on one leg, reaching. Let's get 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Good. Okay, side step or wiper. So if you're seated, we're going to go side to side, just back and forth, whole body here. Do the best you can. Or if you're standing, we're going to go side to side. It's kind of mini shuffles here. If you have a lot of room, use it. So you might see me leaving the screen, but I'm going to try to stay in a little bit of space because I know we all might be working in some small spaces right now. All right, so going side to side. Going side to side, working in the frontal plane, even using those arms in the frontal plane with the wipers. It's really important. Most of our activities, we go forward and back, and that'll look like this, kind of go forward and back. Go ahead and relax. So linear or forward and back exercises like biking and walking are different than side-to-side movements. So it's important to incorporate both. All right. So we have knee hug or elbow hug. If you're seated and you're able to hug just like this while you're seated, that'll be your first option. Or you can do elbow hug and then switch. Elbow hug and then switch. Or you can do an elbow wrap and switch just like that. If you're standing, we're going to do a knee hug just like that. Take a couple steps, hug it out, and then switch. Go ahead and start. So find some space. You can do it one knee at a time just like that, but I like to take a couple steps before pulling it up. And you don't need a lot of space, And you can travel around things. Just going up. Let's go for 5 more seconds. And stop. All right. Side hop or seal clap. So if you're seated, we're going to perform a seal clap. Okay? You can do as many as you can while we are hopping, or if you want to hop with one leg, if you're seated like this, that would be another option. If you're standing, we're going to try to find something. Don't worry about something that we can jump over, but find an imaginary line. We're just going to go side to side. So I'm going to jump and try to land on the other side. Jump and try to land and stick. Okay, if that doesn't work, you can go 2 feet. Okay, so that's another option. We're going to go side to side, whether you're seated or standing, seal claps, or you moving one leg. If you're standing, let's try to get five total. So we'll go 1, back, and then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. Ready? Here we go. 1, and then stick, step over, step over, step over, 2 more, step over, 1 more, and let's go ahead and switch legs. Okay, if you were doing the seal claps, go ahead and relax. Okay, mentally prepare yourself. If you want to prepare yourself by doing a 2-legged first, that's good. Or if you're seated, go back to the clap. Or if you're seated, you can hop with one leg just like us here. So from here, let's go ahead and land, stick and hold. 1, step over, 2, 3, 4, 1 more, and 5. Good. All right. Run in place or punch. The next one, if you're seated, just to do some punching. If you're standing, just going to run in place. Keep going. Okay, keep going. Now we're going to try to go as fast as we can. 10 seconds, as fast as you can. Faster, faster, faster. Keep going. Keep going. And relax. Inhale and exhale. Big inhales, big exhales. Oh, let me make sure we got here. Got one person coming in. Let me get them in. All right, there she is. She made it right to the workout. So take a breather. We got a participant coming in. All right. So the next one is going to be a skip. Okay, we're going to skip around, skip around, skip around. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and go at your own pace. Okay, let's go ahead and skip. And relax. All right. Now, what we're going to do is find some space. We're going to bring our hands down to the ground. If you're seated, just bring your hands down in front of you, and then you're going to walk your hands all the way up. Okay, so whether you're seated or standing, hands all the way down, and then hands all the way up. And then we're going to perform an inchworm. We're going to walk our hands forward all the way, bring our knees down, and then from here we're going to walk our feet toward our hands, and then stand up. Okay, if you're seated, we're just reaching down and reaching all the way up. If you're able to stand, reach down, inchworm your way all the way out, and bring those knees down. And then from here, walk those feet forward and stand all the way up and face the other direction. All right, so go ahead and get a sip of water. We're going to go through that one more time before our workout. All right. How y'all doing? Good to see you. All right, so let's go through maybe some quick things because we got a new participant just joined us. Maybe get her warmed up. So we're going to adapt as we go. So let's go ahead and just kind of run in place. We'll go through some of our activation drills and our dynamic stretches. So we've got a new participant. We're going to get her warmed up. And we're also, if you're still joining us, you're going to get some double work. All right, and relax. Okay, shake it out a little bit. Shake it out, bend those knees. Shake those hands if you're seated. Shake it all the way out. And then see if you can make a wave. See if you can make a wave with the arms. Okay, and then see if you can pretend like you're surfing on a surfboard. Okay, pretend you're surfing on a surfboard. Surfboard, surfboard. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side of the surfboard. Surfing away. Surfing away. All right, let's go ahead and pretend we're swimming. Pretend we're swimming, whether you're seated or standing. Swim, swim, swim. Swim, swim, swim. All the way. Swim, swim, swim. All right. Keep going. Keep going. Swim faster. Swim faster. Swim faster and relax. Woo! Shake it out a little bit. All right. Now let's go back to our side to sides. We're going to go side to side. Shuffle it out. Just little steps side to side. Or if you're seated, we're going to go upper body, arm wipers. Okay, keep going. And let's do a couple more side to side. And relax. Woo! All right. Now, let's go ahead and kick our heel toward our glutes here. Trying to bring those heels all the way up. Okay. If you are seated, what we can do here is just shoulder raise. Okay, or you can do a little bit of both. Okay. Shoulder raise or heel to glute. We can do a little bit of both, make it a little bit more challenging, and relax. Now we're going to do some leg kicks. We're going to see if we can reach toward the opposite hand. Okay, be careful with this one. If you're seated, we're just going to reach with your right and then reach with your left, or if you can, while you're seated, just like that. All right, keep going, seated kicks. This is another good dynamic stretch that I like. Keep going. All right, and whether you're seated or standing, let's go wide feet. Or if you're seated, we're just rolling out those arms. And we're going to see how low. We're going to go real low, all the way, and then all the way up. And then we're going to go all the way to one side. And then we're going to go all the way to the other side. And then stand all the way up and relax. All right, get a sip of water. We're going to go ahead and start our workout for the day. All right, what you will need is a backpack with some books in it, 2 soup cans, or some dumbbells. So whatever you need for weight, use whatever you got. I see you got some cool stuff there on your hands. That's going to be perfect. So you can have 2 things in your hands, 1 in each hand, or a medicine ball. I've also brought another type of weight that is something that is heavy, right? We have some sparkling water here. I'm not going to use it, but it would be something that you could work out with if you couldn't find any weight. So that's another suggestion. All right, so I have soup cans. If you do have dumbbells, we're going to use dumbbells. So you can use 5-pound dumbbells, 10-pound dumbbells, whatever dumbbells you got. And we also have this medicine ball bag and this book bag. So if you have a book bag, I'm going to show you how to do a book bag workout as well. Or you can use your dumbbells. Okay, so I'll give you lots of different options. If you have your book bag, I'm going to fill this all up with all the knowledge from camp that you receive. So using all the latest research, of course, when we're training. And this will also be something I'm going to perform my one arm rows with, okay, to make it a little bit harder. If you have dumbbells, we're going to be able to make everything adjustable. So whether you have dumbbells or a med ball or a backpack, I got you covered. Lastly, before we get started, if you have a resistance band and it's set up and ready to go and it's very safe to use, we can also use that. And I can also show you what to do with a resistance band if you have one that isn't hooked up to anything. So I can also show you some exercises you can do with a resistance band. So I'll give you lots of different options. All right, so we're going to start with our iso rotation hold, 20 seconds, and we're going to perform a deadlift. Okay, so whether you're seated or standing, what we're going to do is take your dumbbells or your soup cans, whatever you got. So I'll show you it with the soup can, and then I'll show you it with the dumbbells. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is the rotation hold. We're going to reach those dumbbells or soup cans out to the side, whether we're seated or standing. We're going to straighten those arms, and we're going to hold it for 20 seconds. Okay, if you have a heavy weight or a bag or a dumbbell, whatever you got, we're going to try to hold it out to the side with our arms straight and really twist and hold, okay? So use whatever weight you feel is necessary. And then after that, we're going to, let's see here, we're going to perform a deadlift. So we're just going to stand up, pick up the weight, and pick it and put it back down. So whatever weight you have. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So whether you have a med ball, soup cans, dumbbells, a backpack, we're going to go ahead and hold that weight up in the air. Hold here. Straighten those arms. Hold. We're going to perform for 20 seconds. Try to bring it about in front of the chest and shoulders. Hold here. Keep going. Hold, hold, hold. Straighten those arms, whether you're seated or standing. 3, 2, and bring it down. Okay? I'll show you what it looks like. You can also perform it with your dumbbells or your soup cans. We're going to go ahead and hold it for 20 seconds on the other side. Ready? Hold. 20 seconds. Just straighten those arms. Hold, hold, hold. Squeeze. 10 more seconds. Straighten those arms. Keep going. 3, 2, and 1. All right. So we got 20 seconds each side. Now we're going to go with our deadlift. So if you have your dumbbells or your soup cans, what we're going to do is go ahead and pick them up off the ground, just like that, and then stand up. So we're going to go all the way down and then stand all the way up. We're going to go for 10 reps. All right, here we go. If you are seated, what I'd like you to do is just try to pull all the way up just like that, or you can perform bicep curls. So you have different options. Bicep curls, if you can, try to lift the weight off the ground. Otherwise, we're going to go for 10 reps here. Here we go. All the way down, pick your weight up. 1. All the way down, all the way up. 2. All the way down, all the way up. 3. All the way down, all the way up. 4. All the way down, all the way up. 5. All the way down, all the way up. 6. All the way down, all the way up. 7. 3 more, all the way down and up. 8, all the way down, all the way up. 9, one more, all the way down, all the way up. And 10. Go ahead and take a breather, get some water. We're going to perform one more set of that after you take some time to relax. So that's our iso rotation, seated or standing, and that is also our deadlift. Okay? You can challenge yourself by doing a one-leg deadlift if you want for 5 each side, and you can choose between any of this weight. So it can be this book bag for the deadlift, it can be the dumbbells, and it can also be the med ball or the soup cans. Okay, so I want to make sure that you can see different options while we go through this. All right, let's go ahead and start with our iso rotation. So I'm going to take that med ball, or you can take your weights. We're going to go ahead, and if you have a book bag, you could also do that with the book bag as well. So we're going to straighten the arms and hold it for 20 seconds. Ready? And hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20, and down. Woo! All right, we're going to go ahead and switch to the other side. Whether you're seated or standing, here we go. And reach and hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Straighten out those arms. Try to stand up nice and tall. 3, 2, and bring it down. Woo! That one was tough. All right. Now, whether you got your book bag, your dumbbells, or your soup cans, we're going to perform a deadlift. We're just going to pick them up, and then we're going to put them down. We're going to go for 10 reps. Here we go. All right. Find that weight that we're going to pick up. Go ahead and pick up your weight. Reach down and stand up. Okay, all the way down. That was 1. All the way up. 2. Down. Up. 3, or biceps if you're seated, or try to lift something off the ground. 4. 6 more. Down. Up. 5. Down. Up. 6. Down. Up. 7. Down. Up. 8. 2 more. Down. Up. 9. 1 more. Down. Up. And 10. Good job. Woo! Take a breather. You just finished the iso rotation and the single arm press. We're done also with our dynamic stretching. So we're done with our first category. We have 2 more rounds. So that was our first round, or 2 more categories, whatever you want to call them. We're going to perform a single arm press and a single arm row. So this one's going to take a little bit of time. All right. Now, you can use any piece of equipment. I'm going to use the dumbbells. If you have the soup cans, I'll show you the demonstration with the soup cans, and then I'll use the dumbbells when I work out. So, single arm press. If you're seated, we're just going to perform a seated arm press right out front, or you can just push it right out in front just like this. It'll be an alternating press just like that. If you're able to get into the kneeling position, it'll be the same thing, alternating press, just like this. Okay, so that's the first exercise. The second exercise is a single arm row. So that one, we're going to take our weight, soup can, whatever it is, and we're going to row it from the ground. If you have something like a box, a table, or a chair that you can push into and pull from, we're going to perform a single arm row just like that with our arm, okay? So those are going to be our 2 exercises. If you are seated, let me give you one example. If you have the resistance band, this would be a good time to use the resistance band for either a pull, and you could also use it as a press. So you could do your single arm press with a band and your single arm rows with a band if you have the resistance band. So that's when this would come into equation. Actually, for that iso rotation, you could also use a resistance band as well. So I should have given you that option before, and you could also use it for your deadlift. So the band you can use for a lot of things. Okay. So remember, next week we'll probably try to use a little bit more band. So single arm press and single arm row. Go ahead and pick up your dumbbell or your soup can or your weights, whatever you got. Okay. And what we're going to do is get into the kneeling position or seated position. And we're going to go ahead and perform 8 on each side. Here we go. And up, 1 on this side, and 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, and 8. Good job. Now we're just going to use one of those weights, and we're going to get into a split stance position. If you are seated, for this one, you can perform a row from the ground here, just like this with your arm, or like I showed you with the band. If that's not working, you can also perform a 2-arm bicep curl, okay, if we're looking for different options. Okay, so different options, and you can also just try to pull it into the chest 2-arm row. So you have different options if you're seated, okay? Otherwise, we're going to go into that split stance position. We're going to row from the ground. We're going to go for 8 each side, and here we go. 1, tap, 2, 3, all the way down, all the way up, 4, 5, nice and slow, 6, 7, and 8. Go ahead and switch side. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one more, and 8. Good job. Go ahead, get some water, and we'll come back to our push and our pull. So if you don't have a dumbbell or you had the medicine ball, hopefully you knew you could do this if you needed to. You could also use that backpack here as well if you want to challenge the weight, if you feel like you don't have enough weight. So challenging yourself with a med ball or the book bag, soup cans, whatever you got. Let's go ahead and get started. Single arm press, single arm row. Here we go, half kneeling. Okay. And let's go ahead, if you're seated or standing, and begin. And 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, and 8. Good job. All right, now we're going to go to that 1-arm row. If you're seated, you can choose to do an upright row, bicep curl here. Okay. If you want to just do an iso hold, you could do that as well. If you're standing, split stance, rowing from the ground, trying to get it flat back. Look at all this space I have here in between my legs. I'm going to reach and pull. 1, down, up, 2, 3, all the way down, all the way up. 4, 5, 6, 7, one more, 8, and switch legs, switch arms. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good job. All right, so we just finished our second round. Take a break, get some water. All right. Next up is the uplift and the halo. So the uplift and the halo, if you have a resistance band, the uplift will look like this. Sorry, we'll go toward that back side, go across that front side, okay? So this will be the uplift if you have a band. If you have soup cans, it will be the same thing, just like this, just in that kneeling position. And if you're seated in a chair, it'll look just like this, going from one side to the other side, down, diagonally up, just like that, okay? The next exercise will be a halo. We'll take those weights and we'll go around the head. We'll move those weights around the head. That'll be the second exercise. So we're going to start with the uplift, and then we're going to move to the halo. Now you can use any of your weights for any of these exercises. I'm going to use the med ball. If you want to use your dumbbells or your soup cans for this, you can. So from here, go ahead and get into the kneeling position, or if you're seated, you can reach down and up. Okay, that's 1. We're going to go for 8. Down, up 2, down, up 3, down, up 4. If you want to challenge by bringing the back leg off the ground, 5, 6, 7, one more, and 8. Let's go ahead and switch side. Yes, we got to switch side. So we got to go from the other side and across the body. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Challenge yourself by bringing that back knee off. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good job. That was the uplift. Okay, halo is next, seated or standing. We're going to bring that weight around the head, just like that. Trying to keep the head still. If you have the dumbbells or the cans, it's going to go just like that. We're going to go 8 around each way. You can also use one dumbbell for this, and that's what I'm going to use. All right, here we go. Around the head, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring it down. And let's go the other way. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Woo! Take a break. Get some water. Take a sip. Good job. All right, we have our last set. And then we'll get into our cool down. Last set. Let's make it our best set. So you can use your backpack, your dumbbells, soup cans, whatever you want. I'm going to use the heavy load, the backpack, full of all of the knowledge we're learning. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and get set up in our half kneeling. If you're seated, it'll look just like this, down and across and up. If you're kneeling, just like this, and across the body. All right, here we go. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. Let's go ahead and switch side. Here we go. Down and up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Challenge. 6, 7, 8. And down. Halo is next. Woo! Medicine ball, med ball, or dumbbell or book bag. I'm going to go around the head. Okay? I'm going to use the med ball this time. Last exercise. Here we go. Going around. Here we go. 1, 2. Bend those elbows. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and bring it down. Let's go the other way. Wrap it around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 all the way. Woo! All right, let's go ahead and cool down. Good job, everybody. So that was our strength circuit. After a good, thorough warm-up of activation drills and some dynamic stretching, your body should be feeling really good. Remember, the purpose of exercising isn't to hurt the body. The purpose of exercising is to allow the body to slowly adapt to exercise so that when you exercise, you don't get pain. You shouldn't get pain when you exercise. You should feel really good, nice and loose now. Now we're going to perform some quick stretches before we head out. So let's go ahead. If we're seated, we're just going to go ahead and bring those legs out like this. And we're going to reach forward. Or you can bring your knees out just like this if you're seated. Okay? Or you can tee your arms out and stretch out just like that. If you're able to go onto the ground, I'm just going to go to like a split stance. We're going to hold here and breathe. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Now, whether you're seated or on the ground, go ahead and reach toward one leg. Breathe and hold. Inhale and exhale. Try to inhale, lower, exhale it all out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and switch side. Hold and breathe. Try to bring that chest up. Hold, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. From here, go ahead and just bring those knees and feet out, whether you're seated or standing. Hold here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale. Go ahead and bring those feet together. Butterfly. Hold here. Try to press those knees down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Good. From here, what we'll do is, if we're seated or standing, we're going to go ahead and go for 2 neck cars. We're going to rotate the head down. Nice slow circle here. All the way around. And all the way down. Nice and slow. All the way around and down. Good. Go ahead and rotate the head the other way. Nice and slow. Nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow. and relax. From here, go ahead and tee out the arms, whether you're seated or standing. Okay, and let's make two 90-degree angles and make a cactus with the arms. And we're going to bring one arm down and one arm up, hold here, and then go the other way. And then squeeze the fist. And then other way, squeeze the fist, hold here, and one more time, all the way down. Good job. And then from here, bring the hands out front. Okay, and then we're going to turn the palms up, flex, and then turn the palms the other way and push. Turn the palms down, flex, turn the palms away and push down. Squeeze the fists, bring those hands out. Try to even those hands on your screen. From here, back, down, forward, up, back, down, and forward. Trying to keep those arms together nice and straight. Just moving that scapula in a circle. Trying to keep those elbows straight. Yep, nice and slow and controlled. Then go ahead and rotate the other way. Rotate nice and slow, super slow. Squeeze the arms. Keep going, and relax. Shake it out. And wrist circles here. Nice and slow. Hands in front of the elbows at a 90-degree angle. And we're just circling the wrist here nice and slow. All the way around, up, in and down, all the way down and hold here. And then in and up, out and down. In and all the way up, out and down. From here, down, all the way out, up, in, all the way down, out, up, and in. Go ahead and shake it all out. Take a big inhale and exhale. Okay, and now let's just go ahead and end with some breathing. And before you head out, just going to go ahead and sit up nice and tall, whether you're seated or standing. Just going to take an inhale. Feel the belly, feel the rib cage, feel the obliques, the lower back. Think of this area as a balloon. Relax the neck and shoulders on your inhale. And exhale it out. Inhale. Feel your belly, your abs, your lower back, obliques. Hold it. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Remember to breathe through your nose. That's probably one of the most important things you can think about is breathing through your nose when you breathe. Because your mouth can get a lot of bacteria in it if you breathe through your mouth. So last thing we'll do is box breathing. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a big inhale and an exhale. We're going to go ahead and begin. Go ahead and inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath for 1, 2, 3, 4. Big inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Big exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Big hold. 2, 3, 4. Big inhale. 1, 2, 3. Big hold. 2, 3, 4. Big exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold your breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a big inhale. Go ahead and exhale it out. Inhale. And exhale it out. Good job, everyone. Make sure you get some water. Continue to breathe. Good job, everybody. If you want to hang out in our Zoom, hang out and chat. If you got to head out, thanks for joining us. Thank you, everyone. If you want to watch more of these archived videos, check out the YouTube page, Virtual Fitness and Health on YouTube, or just ask me for the link. All right, everybody. We'll see you all later. Good job.